All right, y'all, get all in here. It's been a minute since I said this. Like, subscribe, join the channel, subscribe, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And for today's video, I think we've kind of gotten like a bit of a hint or a clue of what probably might actually happen this season. Now, I know I made a video, about, Marvin's future, and it could sort of like be up in the air, but I think we've gotten just a bit more information because when Kanan was speaking with Marvin about, like, because he was trying to do his paper, and he's like, oh, what about his grandfather Elijah? And Kanan was getting like multiple stories about him from when his grandmother was explaining the story about him, like, yo, like there was, multiple stories, like he was a good guy, but then you heard from Marvin, and then you heard from Lulu, like there was good sides to him, and then there was bad sides to him. But the thing is, Marvin was the older brother, which he had to take care of Rock, and he had to take care of Lulu when Lulu, I guess, was a baby or was little at the time. He had to take care of him, and he was the older sibling that had to like man up and handle most of the responsibilities. So I think it's only fitting that with everything that's happening with like Unique's character and him basically like having his reality is basically warped, and he's dealing with like brain trauma, like his warped sense of mind is kind of like, okay, Rock was the one that did it, but then, as I said, it doesn't help that Early is telling him all these things, which is kind of like confusing the situation. But we seen in episode 1 where he was alive and he was about to kill Lulu, but then that got interrupted and he didn't do it. And then when he was outside watching like Rock, Kanan, and Marvin go in, like they basically left, that's when he was just like, okay, he was watching from there. So it makes me wonder as well, like with everything that's been going on so far of what we've gotten in episode 1, what's gonna most likely happen to like Marvin. And I think now I'm gonna call my shot. Because I could be wrong. I could certainly be wrong, but I'm gonna call my shot now, and I think it could be Marvin. Because here's the thing: Jukebox is already thinking about enlisting into the military, but then the conversation was basically had about the whole, okay, what is going to be her future? What is she going to most likely do? Even though we know she's going to become a cop, but there's steps, and there's a progress for her to become all these things. And I think with Marvin's death, maybe this season, I think it's only going to fuel the fire even more for her to just say, you know what, fuck this. Like, being in this life, being in this game, she lost too much. Because yes, she lost Nicole, right? Even though she doesn't blame Kanan for it, but she lost Nicole. And then I think the devastating blow is her losing Marvin. That's going to be the devastating blow for her to just say, you know what, fuck everything. I'm just going to like change my name, become a cop, and just do things her own way, and just completely leave, right? And just be vicious. I think she's going to be like completely vicious. And I think all of this is going to start right after when Marvin dies. And Marvin had like a great character development in season 2, and I would say going forward in even season 3 as well, where he went from a guy that was beating the hell out of his daughter, breaking tapes, because she was gay and he didn't give a fuck. And then his character slowly started to change, where he was just like, okay, like we like the character, we like him even more, and he went through a development. Lulu, on the other hand, did not go through the same development as Marvin did. Lulu had more of a crash out moment, a couple of crash out moments, rather than Marvin on the other hand. Not saying Marvin didn't have a crash out moment either, but it was more like Lulu was going through something, because it's like, okay, having Rock tell him that she basically owns his soul, like she owns him, and there's nothing he can do about it, and his business is basically her business, right? And then him killing D-Wiz, and then him, killing Scrap, and then his mom. So all of that kind of played into a factor for him to attempt to unalive himself, and then for him to go into rehab. And we're gonna see what's gonna happen for Lulu. That's why I think I'm gonna say this now, because like, again, I could be wrong. I could be so wrong, but I don't think it's Lulu. I don't think this season, I don't think it's going to be Lulu that's going to probably take the bullet, because I think Lulu's still going to have more to prove. He still has more to prove and to show. Like maybe into season 5, who knows? But I think Lulu still has more to prove and to show, because it's like, okay, he got out of rehab. What's going to be Lulu's direction? What's going to be his steps going forward? And how they're going to probably deal with the aftermath if potentially Marvin does die? Because if it almost been Lulu, then it has to probably be Marvin. It has to be. Like, I'm telling y'all, it has to be, because and it only makes sense for it to be him, because come on, it has to start up the Jukebox's story, because we are on season 4 right now, and Jukebox haven't caught a body. There's no heat on the woman yet. I know there was a trailer with her and Kanan is they got guns on somebody, and I'm like, okay, but again, that's not enough heat. We need more heat to start this woman up, so we be like, oh, okay, this is how she turned dark. Oh, okay, she caught her first body. Oh, okay, but I think that what's gonna happen is, like I said, I think we all should pay attention. We all should pay attention to like Marvin. I think because, as I said, all eyes is on Marvin right now, and I think we should all pay attention to Marvin and Lulu as well, because we got to see where his character is actually gonna go this season. Like, is he just gonna like push all of that stuff to the side, where it's like, okay, he killed D Wiz, killed Scrap, killed his mom, right? And he's just gonna like, all right, I'm just gonna like whatever Rock tells me to do, I'm just gonna do it. Or he's gonna try to find himself. Because the one thing that I forgot to mention in my review is that Jessica coming back into like Lulu's life and basically souping up his head, saying, "Oh, I'm in California now, and I told everybody that we all will be working for you someday because you're very talented with the music." And I'm like, again, like, she's there, but I don't think her being there means a little bit, but I don't think it means everything. I don't think it means everything, because if anything was to happen to Famous, all of that could just go away. All of that could just completely go away. So I think that Lulu, we should also pay attention to him as well and see where he's gonna go. Like, will he spiral out of control again? Will he crash out again? Like, what's gonna happen to Lulu going forward? Like, is he gonna be, like I said, a character where he's gonna probably do things maybe a bit different, or is he gonna like still do the same thing over and over again and just be caught in this loop? Because even though when Jessica returned, and she was just like, the things that's been happening isn't really your fault, but it's like he participated in all of this, despite when Kanan was telling him last season that, yeah, even though you killed D-Wiz, but you didn't have to do it, but it was because Rock ordered him to do it. He did it anyway, as Rock is the boss, right? Rock is the one making all these operations and these plans, so everything goes through her. But like I said before, it's like we should really pay attention to like both Lulu and Marvin, but I still believe it probably might be Marvin, because Marvin has so much to prove, because Marvin is the older brother, which is crazy because he's the older brother, but Rock is the one in control. Like, it's like, it's just, but she's, in control. But I think it only makes sense though. I think it only makes sense that it probably would be Marvin to be the one to go, because as I said plenty of times, this has to start up like Jukebox's dark turn for her to like, okay, I just lost, she lost her father, so it's like, okay, now what's gonna happen? And she's just not gonna take it anymore, and then she's gonna probably do stuff on her own, and then just become vicious, just completely become vicious. Like, she's gonna know that singing shit is done, whatever future plans she had done, right? And then she's just gonna like transition and then work her way up to becoming a cop, because she's gonna figure like, well, I can still do the things that I want to do, but I'm under the law. I don't have to be afraid of the law. I don't have to worry about getting arrested when I am the law, right? Basically a gang member with a badge, because if anybody knows the rules out in the streets, you could be a gangster, right? And you can still do your gang banging, right? And all that other stuff, but it hits different when you are a cop, because you're basically a gang member with a badge. So that means you can tell anybody what to do. You can basically jack up anybody and they can't tell you anything. Why? Because you're a cop. So Jukebox is going to realize that having a badge is power, rather than being in the streets and worrying about somebody clipping you when you have a whole police force that can back you if anything was to happen. And I think she's gonna put this together maybe after Marvin's death. Maybe after Marvin's death, I think she's gonna put all of this together, and then she's just gonna change her name and then eventually, do her own thing. But I strongly believe, I think it might be Marvin this season. I think it might be Marvin this season. I'm calling it. I could be wrong. Like I said, yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm calling it right now. I think it might be Marvin because everything is like the signs is not pointing there yet, but I don't know. After when Unique was, spying and watching, and he's like, everybody's turned against me. It could go down like that. I'm telling you, you can go down that way, or it could be a choice. Either you kill, if Unique has his own way, be like, all right, you have to choose, Rock, either Kanan or Marvin, and then she be like, fuck, I can't kill it's hard to choose, and then he's like, I'm gonna do it for you. Marvin gets popped. Telling you, there's ways they can spin this story because, like I said, Jukebox has to turn. It has to happen. But comment down below what you guys think. What you guys think about first what you guys think about the first episode, and what do you guys think about maybe Marvin this season? It could be Marvin. It could be Marvin, right? It could be Marvin. And I think Lulu still needs more time to develop and see how is his character gonna grow, how is he gonna develop into like maybe season 5, because I still think he needs more development. I still do. But overall, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I catch you all in the next one. I forgot one more thing too, that with Unique's like warped mind, he's also gonna remember as well that Marvin was the one to have taken a shot at him at the time to try to kill him. I think this is when Panessa, when he had the family in the car, I believe, and that's when Marvin tried to take a shot at him and try to kill him. So his warped mind is gonna probably try to remember that too and be like, wait a minute, I remember that Marvin tried to kill me at one point. He's owed a bullet. So I'm like, that could still happen. His warped mind is gonna be thinking about the past, because Lulu didn't really do anything to him. He didn't do anything to him yet, but it's just like everything is still pointing at Marvin. But that was it.